I'm excited to be here today. So I want to first introduce myself. So this is me and my cute husband. His name is Dan, and we've been married for about 8 years. Fun fact about us is that we met when we were like itty bitty. We were on a swim team together, only he was way too cool for me, so we never talked. But then we got married, and now I make fun of him for all the time. Together we have 3 kids. So Chase is my oldest, and then Marley and Brielle. And when I started blogging, Brielle, the baby, she was like, 5 months old. So she was like waking up 3 times in the night still, and awesome stage, right? So my day-to-day is filled with everything but vlogging, if I'm being honest. It's filled with changing diapers, spilled milk, bus stops, all of the things. And if that's not crazy enough, I also have cows, and we took on bottle feeding lambs, because why not, right? So I have a very busy, crazy life, and so why in the world would I blog? Like what would possess me to do this? So I'm telling you this for a reason, but this is the reason why I started blogging. It was the end of 2017. We had just moved across the country. I lived in Connecticut when my husband was going to grad school, and we moved back home to Utah, but we moved away from all of our friends. I was home with 3 kids that, these small ages, I love them, but sometimes they're just not nice to mom, right? And at the end of the day, my husband would come home and I would just cry. Like, my life is just filled with, being a maid, basically. I felt no fulfillment. I was so down on myself. I didn't feel like I had any friends. I had no validation. I couldn't see where I was making a difference, right? And I follow a blogger her name's Lauren, from Lauren's Latest, and she was very open about how she blogs full-time as her career, how she made blogging her career. And she talked about how her husband went to grad school, and he moved across the country. She was with her kids, and she decided to buckle down and blog. And she said that he graduated, and they graduated debt-free. And so here I am. I just finished grad school with my husband, and we're in a lot of debt. And I'm like, this is crazy income. How in the world is she doing this? My phone keeps telling me that I'm trying to edit. I'm not trying to edit my notes. And so my husband and I watched this, and I was like, this is crazy. She's staying at home. She's making all of this money. That's insane. And my husband, this is my cute husband. He's so great. He told me, he's like, Karli, you should try this. You should do this. And I was like, I'm not cool enough. Like, why would somebody listen to what I have to say? I'm not cool enough for this. I didn't think I could do it. I honestly thought I was going to fail. And so, hold on. I've got to get my notes. So let's look at my timeline here. So my timeline is February 8th, 2018, so not that long ago, I purchased my domain. I finally purchased it. He talked me into it. It took him like a good month and a half to talk me into it. And as this month and a half was going on, I just knew if I was going to do this, I was going to do this. I wasn't going to work for nothing. I wasn't going to not get paid. I was going all in. I was getting to Mediavine as fast as possible because nobody likes to work for free, right? So I purchased my domain finally. March 3rd, less than a month later, I applied for Mediavine with 26,000 sessions. March 26th, Mediavine ads. Woo! Best day ever, right? I think in my first 3 days on Mediavine, I made more than I made with AdSense, like the whole month that I had it beforehand. And so that was really awesome for me. And then by July, 300,000 page views. October, 500,000. And then this past January, I hit 850,000 page views. So the question that I get is, how? How in the world did you do this? And guess what? I'm here to tell you how in the world I did that. So this is how I did it, especially because my kids are home with me all day long. So there was a lot of this going on. My kids would create the recipes with me all day long, and I would post every single day. For the first 6, 7 months, I was posting every single day, and everybody's like, how in the world did you do that, Karli? I'm not a recipe follower. I've been baking for however many years. Since I remember Sundays, I would bake for my family Sundays as I was like a kid. I loved it. And so I had a whole backlog. I was basically cooking dinner for my family, taking pictures, writing a blog post. And every day, my husband took this picture of me because he came home from work and it was a horrible, awful, cloudy day. And I needed to get that soup picture taken. And so this is me out front of my house. And he's like, Karli, what in the world are you doing? Just doing my work. I'm just doing my work. But then there was also a lot of late nights. How many times have I posted something like this in my Insta stories? Okay, finally, my eyelids, I'm taping them open, but I finished. You can go read my blog post now at 1 or 2 in the morning. And so daily schedule. This is what my daily schedule looks like. I thought this would be helpful. The highlighted things are it's when I work, basically. So we've got, wake up, thanks to my kids. They wake me up every morning. I don't need an alarm clock. They're great alarm clocks. And then, breakfast, morning text. I'll check my socials in the morning. And then get ready. I go feed the animals because that's a thing in my life. And run my errands, go to the park and run. Get ready for school, lunch, bus stop. And then it's nap time and quiet time. And I live for nap time and quiet time, you guys. And so my baby goes down for a nap. And then my middle daughter, Marley, she would help me for those 2.5 hours during the day. We would recipe develop, and she's so cute. She's, Mom, what recipe are we doing today? Mom, can we please do a recipe? She loves it so much. And so how many little hands do I have in my pictures on my site? A lot. But I'm like, that's part of my life, right? And so she helps me with that during the day, and then we do all of the homework, all that stuff. And then 7 p.m. bedtime. I love bedtime, you guys. 7 p.m. bedtime for kids is like gold. But I work from 7 till about 1 or 2 in the morning, most nights. So I guess you don't really want my daily schedule. Here's what I do nightly, okay? 7 p.m., once I go to sleep, I check my socials and answer all of my comments and notifications. This takes about an hour, and I will explain why that takes a long time for me in a couple of slides. I will edit my photos and videos for the day. So in the beginning, I was shooting a recipe during nap time, I was editing, and then writing the content, publishing, all in that one day. And just going. So I'd edit the photos, do final keyword research, I'd write and create the post, schedule out Pinterest for the day, schedule out Facebook, and then I'd plan the next day's content. That's how prepared I was in the beginning. I wasn't prepared at all. Let me make sure I hit all of my points. Oh, I wanted to point out here that you will have time for whatever is important to you. Because so many people say, I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody have time for that, right? But if you want to get it done, you're going to get it done. Because we all have so many excuses. We can all have every excuse in the book. But if you want to get it done, you're going to get it done. Even if it makes it so you don't sleep as much. If you want to get it done, you'll get it done. Okay, let's look at our basic blogging responsibilities. And really the only reason I typed these all out is because, isn't that amazing? And we got our yada, 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 because seriously, it goes on and on and on. How many hats are we wearing? All the time. But it feels good to see that. And yeah, you do all of that. And a lot of people start a blog and don't ever keep up with it because they can't wear all of those hats. And all of you here are wearing all of those hats. So congratulations, you are one of few that can actually do it. So I would suggest doing something that I did not do for a long time is hire out help, hire a VA. Get those as soon as you can. Start passing off those tasks that you don't like to do. I hired a VA 2 months ago, and I'm breathing again. And so now I don't do any of those things now. And so that I seriously can go to bed at night and I'm like, I'm breathing. I'm not drowning anymore. Okay, so what is the very most basic to me for blogging is what is your why? Why are you blogging? Obviously money. Money is a very good motivator, but why are you blogging? This is why I blog. Beyond the money, beyond everything, I blog because I want to give others, I want to give my readers opportunities to feel good about themselves. That's honestly what drives me. That's what drives my blog. That's what drives my Instagram. That's what drives everything. Is I want other people to feel good about themselves. That's exactly what I needed when I started this blog. I needed to feel validated. I needed to be able to see some type of progress. So whether that's by an Insta story of me showing my almost 2-year-old now, like getting into the cupboard and she's covered with flour, whatever, or by somebody following my recipe, serving it for dinner and their family loved it. I want to do that for other people. So find your why deep down. Figure out, why are you doing this? Why are you blogging? What is your reader's problem that you're trying to solve? And then apply that why through everything you do. All of your blogs, all of your blog posts, all of your socials, your images, your everything. Apply that through everything. And then I have tips and tricks for all of the things that I've done that we're going to go through. So your website content. Let's look. Everybody always says, write good content. Who's heard that before? Everybody, right? So here's our definition. It's the content that your readers want, the content that is full of SEO juice, the content that you want to write about, and if possible, combine all three. And this is awesomely from my own dictionary. Because really, good content, how do I go back? That was the secret surprise, you guys. Writing good content is so important, and it's really what your readers want. Okay, so perfect example of this. One of the first recipes that I wrote was an Instant Pot Alfredo recipe. And it's delicious, and it's way easy, but it is full of heavy cream and cheese and pasta, and it's very heavy. Most common question I got was, how do I make this without the heavy cream? What can I substitute for the heavy cream? And so I took that question, and I wrote a skinny version of the Alfredo. Now, when I make it at home, I make the full fat version. I make it with the heavy cream. That's the way I like it. But people were asking me for that blog post. They were telling me, I want a lighter version of this. And so I wrote it, I put it out there, and guess what? It was automatic traffic because people are asking for that. So what comments can you go through? What things are people asking that you can write an article for, or write a blog post for, or a social post for, that will bring you automatic traffic? And then another, it's like gold. Social media is gold. Ask your followers what they want. They'll tell you. I promise, they'll tell you. So example of this is on Mother's Day, I was helping out a fundraiser for church. I was making like a bazillion and one cookies. I had 2 flavors that I had nailed down. I didn't know which third flavor I should do. So I asked. I was like, hey, which one would you want? And I had never had a post get so much immediate interaction before. And everybody said the raspberry lemon sugar cookies. I made it, I posted it, and guess what? Traffic. Because I'm asking people what they want, and they're telling me. And so here are my tips for good SEO. So your keyword research, this is basic stuff, but I wanted to talk about a couple key points. I use something called the Hoth, and it's free. I'll send a link to anybody who wants. You can email me. But shoot for a reasonable search volume. So what that means is to really, if you're a new blogger, you're not going to want to shoot for sugar cookies that's like hundreds of thousands of searches a month. You need to get niche down a little bit so it's like easy sugar cookie recipe. So there's not as many searches for that. You'll be able to rank for those a lot easier, and then you'll be able to kind of level up and continue to, and rank for the higher keywords after that. So when you're first starting out, focus on your appropriate keyword range. And so how you can find that is by going to Google Search Console, or the Hoth, you can also do it with the Hoth, and see what is your top 10 most top 10 posts that you get organically, and then look at the search volumes there of things that you're actually ranking for, and then search for, and then write posts for the keywords with that search volume. Does that make sense? So this is just a quick, this shows you what the Hoth looks like for, I just did no bake cheesecake, and it tells you your keywords and the search volume, all that good stuff. So the Hoth also will help you to write similar posts. So by knowing what does well for you on Google, write similar posts and then interlink everything, okay? But in order to know what posts you should write, you need to know what you're ranking for. And the Hoth also does this. You can do it on SEMrush, but I'm cheap, and I don't pay for that because I'm cheap. I'm thrifty, my husband says. I'm thrifty. So here's just a quick example of, my rankings quickly. And then I know somebody earlier mentioned answer the public for your most common questions. This is what it looks like. So no bake cheesecake, and it tells you, I can't read that one either, but it tells you the most common questions. So answer those common questions, because then Google will recognize your content as good content because you're answering people's questions. Okay, let's talk social media. Instagram, my quick tips for Instagram. Make a plan and stick to it, okay? Be consistent with Instagram. I don't care if you use a scheduler. Use one, don't use one. Just be consistent. Show up for your readers. I use Planoly, the free version. Shouldn't surprise you. And that's how I schedule all of my Instagram stuff. Be you. People crave the connection. They crave that connection. With social media, people aren't out talking to each other face to face anymore. They crave the connection. Be you. Just be you. I think we can all attest to that one post that we're vulnerable in, and we're like, oh, should I post this? Should I not? And that's the ones that we always get the most feedback on, And then use Instagram stories. Have a story up every single day. This is how people get to know you. They don't get to know you through your posts in their feed, because they just go and they watch your stories. And if a new person happens to come across your Instagram account, they're going to go watch your stories. That's what they're going to try and find. So have a story up. And then I like to create a hashtag list. Planoly will actually save hashtag lists for you. But if you don't use Planoly, have a couple sets of hashtag lists and save them in your phone in your notes. And then every time you do a dessert recipe, you just copy and paste your hashtags and then edit where you need to. So it's just a little bit faster and easier that way. And optimize your bio. Optimize your bio. Same thing. If somebody happens upon your Instagram account and they look at your picture and it's just like hearts and rainbows and unicorns, I love life. They don't know what they're going to get from you. They don't know what they're going to get from you when they follow you. They need to know ahead of time what they're going to get. So if you're family-friendly recipes, put that in there. Say, this is how I'm going to benefit you. And you can also create an About Me highlight. So it's right there in front of them. About me, this is what you're going to get from me for following me. And remember, I just want to make sure. Remember that it goes the same here, solving someone's problem. Provide value to your followers and readers everywhere, okay? Instagram, Facebook, emails, your blog posts. Provide value. Create a landing page for Instagram. You can do this with Create. A lot of people have been doing this with Create. Or there's like link in bio. So you don't have to change out those links every single time you post because that's just annoying, am I right? And then create a schedule. You can go on Pinterest, say Instagram schedule, and it'll be beautiful, all 30 days in a calendar, and it'll tell you exactly what to post. Monday, about me. Tuesday, promote your product. Wednesday, behind the scenes. Thursday, so it's not just you're shoving your product or shoving your new post down people's throat. So they're getting to know you, but it's I don't know, you guys, my words. It's spread out. That's what I'm trying to say. And then get creative with your swipe up feature if you have it. Use Canva to create the exact same images for all of your swipe ups. So it has the same font, it looks the same, the picture's in the same place, your title's in the same place. So anytime people are going through your stories, they'll get to know that and say, oh, that's a swipe up. You don't have to use one of these dudes, you know? Those guys, you don't have to use one. They'll just know that they can swipe up on that. All right, Facebook. Let's talk about our do's and don'ts. So let's be honest about Facebook for a second. Let's be real honest. It's weird, especially right now. Who has seen in a Facebook group in like the last 24 hours, my Facebook page is dead? It's everywhere. Everybody's complaining about Facebook. And you know what? I think it's a good thing. I'm happy that it's dead right now because what we're doing is not working. So change it up. All of us have the opportunity to be the one that finds what's going to work, what's going to tick on Facebook again. And if you're the one that finds that, that's gold. So change things up and figure out what works because it's not nothing. What we're doing right now is not working, so you have nothing to lose on Facebook with your Facebook page. Okay, I asked Eric on a live, and he says this is pronounced niche. So I'm saying niche. Niche groups are gold, okay? Like magic, sparkly gold. If you are not a part of niche Facebook groups, become a part of them. This is how I was able to get enough traffic to apply for Mediavine so soon. Niche Facebook groups, okay? Like Steffi said, I work a lot with the Instant Pot. And so I was a part of these groups before I even started blogging. I am an active member in these groups. And so when I started posting my recipes in those groups, people were going to my site. And when you post into niche Facebook groups, you are targeting exactly your target market is right there in a nice little group with a bow on it for you. So take advantage of that. Now, don't spam them. Don't be crazy. And please, admit that it's yourself. Some people like to be like, oh, have you tried this recipe? I'm like, girl, that's your own recipe. Come on. Own up to it, right? But gold, okay? I met up with somebody at Everything Food Conference, and we were chatting. And she wanted more traffic. And I was like, what's your niche? And she's like, well, my husband's diabetic. I really kind of want to focus on that, but I don't know. And I was like, do it. You are needed. Everybody that's diabetic, if you make awesome food that tastes good, that's diabetic friendly, every single person that's diabetic or loves someone that's diabetic will be an awesome reader for you. They will want you. You are fixing their problems. So I told her to go find those groups and start posting in them. And she sent me a screenshot of her traffic, and it's literally 8 times the day before, just from one post in one group. So find those groups, and if there's not a group for you, create one, because there's a need for it. Okay, I create photo collages for Facebook. I will show you one in just a second. That's the pixels on Photoshop. That's the size that Facebook likes before it'll cut you off. So that might be helpful for you. Comment back. This is why it takes me so long to go through my comments at night. It's because when I posted a pretzel recipe last week into a Facebook group, and there's hundreds of comments on it now in these Facebook groups. And I go back and I try to comment, whatever, and interact with people as me. They get to know me as a person. It's not just some girl with a blog, because I want them to know me. So comment back as you, and don't be afraid to switch things up. We talked about that a little bit. Okay. Oh, here's my a example of a photo collage that I do for Facebook. So instead of just like a straight link. So our don'ts, don't post straight links. Facebook doesn't like that, okay? You will get much better reach if there's a photo involved, or even better, a video. Don't auto-populate from Instagram. I know it's an option, and Facebook like owns Instagram and all that, but don't do it, okay? Don't do it. Doesn't like it. Don't post YouTube links. That is the kiss of death. Like, I don't want to be on Facebook anymore. Use Facebook's video uploader. I hope you all know that. And don't use an outside scheduler. Use Facebook's scheduler. Okay, Pinterest. Here's my quick tips. Create multiple pins for each post. How many times have I created 2 pins and put them out one day after another, and one goes crazy and the other one's just dead? Who knows why? Who knows with the world of Pinterest? But create multiple pins. Get them out there. This is something I have my VA do now, which is awesome because I just don't have the time. Find your style and stick with it. My personal belief is that your readers should be able to pick out your pins from a lineup. They should be similar enough that they look at that and be like, oh, that's Karli's recipe. I've used her recipes before. Let's click through to that one when they're searching for something. Tailwind. Tailwind, enough said, it is a lifesaver. I could go on and on about how I do Tailwind. If you're curious, come up to me after and we can chat about it, but we just don't have enough time for that right now. And then start creating video pins. This is a thing, okay? Video pins are a thing. And you can create long pins with videos. Okay, have you seen these? Where there's a video at the top and there's like a picture down at the bottom, and you're like, that's really cool, I don't know how to do that. Well, guess what? You do it, I have a MacBook, and I do it in Keynote, the app called Keynote, and I have a template. If you email me, I will forward that template onto you, and you just drag and drop your video and your picture in. Super, super simple. So video pins are interesting right now because the click-through rate is like not that great because maybe they have an issue with where you tap on it. It pauses the video instead of like going through to your site, so it's not very user-friendly right now. But once they figure that out, they're gonna do awesome because there's not a lot of video pins out there, so yours are automatically going to be given priority. And then use Pinterest as yourself. Go there for your son's birthday cake. Go there for your bathroom redecoration. Go there for, use Pinterest, pin as yourself, be a Pinterest user. And then here's just a couple examples of my pins, just so that you can see. So they kind of are similar with the text in the middle. I use pretty much the same fonts every time. So those are just a couple examples of some of my pins. All right, Twitter. Everything you see right here is what I know about Twitter. I suck at Twitter. Okay, I own it. So if you're a Twitter expert, come talk to me because I need you. And that's all I have to say about Twitter. Okay, photos and video tips. Let me come over to the right. Okay, I'm cheap. We've established this. I don't like to spend money. So I use marble. They're tiles from Home Depot. They're $6. They look like marble, and I set them on my desk in my bedroom. That's where I shoot everything. That's what I use to take my pictures on, with a foam board from the dollar store behind it. It's so fancy. Or a friend of mine said IKEA sells marble like countertop that's super cheap, under $100 or something, and you can get like a table. And she uses that for her photography a lot. Have something consistent throughout your photos to make your site feel cohesive. I do this with, I have this striped towel. I try not to use it. I really do. I try other ones, and then I always grab my striped towel. But it makes my Instagram feel cohesive. It makes my photos feel cohesive. It makes everything look on brand because I'm using similar things throughout all of my photos. And then replicate what works, but obviously stay creative. I hear all the time, I don't want to do the exact same pictures over and over again. Well, why not? If that one's working for you, stick with it. Go for it. Keep doing it. All of my friends make fun of me a little bit because I always stack everything. I can't not stack things. I always stack everything. So, here's a picture of me. This is a day in the life of cooking with Karli. This is my bedroom. We live in a teeny tiny, like 1,100 square foot apartment, and it's awful. And so I cook in my bedroom. That's like stuff that needs to be donated, clothes that I cleaned out, and food goes on my bed, you guys. It's like not glamorous at all. But this is how it works for me. I was getting ready to shoot the fruit salad that was a couple slides back. But here's proof of my cookie stacking problems. I stack everything. And I even stack brownies. Can we all just want a brownie right now? I want a brownie. Okay, video tips. I don't really have many video tips besides just do it, okay? Just do it. It's where our audience wants us. Ads want us there. There's not enough video out there for the ad space that they want. Ads want us on video, so just do it. And there is no excuse, okay? I don't have a tripod. Guess what? I didn't have a tripod until this last Valentine's Day. I literally didn't have a tripod. And I'll show you my really awesome setup in a minute of what I used to use. But seriously, no excuses. If you want to do it, do it. Just do video. And then watch all the videos you can. I am don't copy people. I'm not saying to copy people. Just get as much information as you can. Watch as many videos in your niche as you can, and watch for their angles. Watch for if they're far away, if they're close up, if there's a pattern to it. My husband and I sat down for probably a couple hours after the kids went to bed one night, and we were going to figure out video. And we figured out, we're like, oh, it's easy. All they're doing is far away for 10 seconds, close up for 5. Far away for 10 seconds, close up for 5. And once we started doing that, our videos were so much better. Our videos are so much better. So another question to ask yourself is, why are your readers watching this video? Remember to always provide value, even through your video. Is it entertainment? Are they watching your video to be entertained? Are they watching your video to learn how to cook something? Are they watching your video to kind of figure out how to cook something? Or if they want to go to Disneyland or whatever, figure out why your readers want to watch a video from you, and then serve them what they are needing. And if all else fails, hire out. And this comes in all forms. I now hire out my editing, and it is glorious. It is glorious. Editing is like my nemesis. But you can hire out your editing. You can hire out the whole shebang. You can have people do your videos for you. If you just want hands and pans or whatever, slideshow type videos, hire them out. I'm actually, at the end of this month, a friend and I, we've got an Airbnb and got some friends together, and we've hired a videographer to come and we're gonna make videos for 4 days straight in this really gorgeous kitchen. So get creative with it. My kitchen, obviously, as you can tell from my really cute bedroom, really decorated. My kitchen, awful. And so I actually go once a month to different Airbnbs, and I travel around the state of Utah and Airbnbs to make recipe videos. And my readers love it. They love when I go. They love my Insta stories about it. And so we play all day. I put the kids to bed, and then we shoot videos in the kitchen while they're asleep. So that's what works out for me right now, because I'm hoping, you guys, that I'm going to get into a house soon. Houses just need to become available, and then I can buy one. But hire out if you need to. Get creative. Just do it. So this is me making my very first video. And let's just all love on that PVC pipe phone holder that my husband lovingly made for me from $25 worth of stuff from our local little store. But that worked for me for almost a year. That's how I did video. But it was actually pretty awesome, because you could move the head and the arm. You could get all sorts of angles with that. But that's what I did. This is my living room. That's how I would make videos. So literally no excuses, people. No excuses for video, of not doing videos. So this is all great. All this information is great. But what about your motivation? That's hard, right? Self-motivation is a must when you're a blogger. And that's something my husband tells me all the time. He's like, I don't know how you do that. He's like, I need somebody like to tell me my job list. And for me to be accountable, he works in the medical field. So like if he doesn't go to work, like his patients, like they need him, basically. He's got to show up for surgery. He's got to be there. But he's like, with you, it's like if you just wake up one day and you're like, meh, I don't want to work, nothing's hurting. Like I'm not affecting anybody else if I don't do any work that day. So self-motivation is a must. And I know you all understand this when I say we love our friends, we love our family, but they just don't get it, right? They just don't understand. Like, that you can't go to McDonald's and then do all of these things. Like, that you have things that you need to get done that day, you know? They just don't understand it. Obviously, money is a big motivation. But I want to get at is community over competition all day long. The people in this room right here are going to be your motivation, okay? Utilize technology for this, and I love this app. Who has Marco Polo? Who's heard of Marco Polo? Yeah, you love it too. I know you love it. So quickly, I'm going to tell you about Marco Polo, and you should all download it. I'm serious. So basically what it is, it's like a walkie-talkie on your phone and your friend's phone, and you can even do group Marco Polos, so there's lots of you in on it. And I literally talk to blogger friends pretty much all day over this, okay? And these are friends that I met at conferences, okay? There's one that's moving to Germany next month, and I talk to her all the time, and guess what? I still see her face on my phone all the time, and we talk all the time. And it's so great to be able to, I'm not good with, I'll own it, working with brands and knowing how to negotiate, things like that. But my friend Allie, she's a rock star. And so when I got an email a couple weeks ago and I was like, I don't know about this. I hurried and Marco Polo'd her and I just said, hey, Allie, this is, you know, what would you charge for this? Or I have a question, they want me to include the whole blog post in an email. I don't know how I feel about that. What do you think? And within 30 seconds, she was back to me saying, yeah, that's weird, or whatever, and we can have these quick conversations, get really quick answers. And my very favorite way to use this is at night. So I always tell my friends, I'm like, we're like coworkers, just like all across the country, because we use it as an accountability. I'll go on and say to my friend Rebecca, like, hey, are you working tonight? Yes, I'm always working. Hey, me too, we're friends. But like, what are you working on right now? And she'll tell me, I'm working on this blog post, or I'm editing these photos. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm working on editing this video. And she said, okay, let's set 30 minutes. What do you want to get done in 30 minutes? I want to be completely done editing my video in 30 minutes. Okay, well, I'm almost done with my photos, so I want to finish my photos and be halfway done with my blog post in 30 minutes. I'm like, okay. Let's go to work. And we will work, and we usually listen to the Greatest Showman soundtrack, because that is a really great soundtrack to work to, you guys. And then 30 minutes later, we come back and say, hey, did you do it? Did you get there? And most of the time, it's like, yeah, I did it. And then we just keep going, okay? We keep each other motivated. We keep each other accountable for our work this way. So find someone around you, give them a high five, introduce yourselves, and be each other's accountability partner. Because this makes such a difference. I cannot even tell you the difference it makes to know that you have somebody that understands that it's like 12:30 at night and you're one eye open and you're like, I have a deadline or I've got to get this scheduled, whatever. They get it. And they get like, you went to dinner at your friend's house and you come home and you're like, wow, I didn't even say anything because I was thinking about Facebook strategy and this blog post that I'm supposed to be writing, and then I had this awesome recipe idea I was trying to keep in my mind, and I didn't even say 2 words the whole dinner. They probably think I'm rude, right? It happens. Your mind is going all the time blog because it's our lives. And so it's so nice to have friends that get it. So again, community over competition. There is enough traffic for every single person in this room, okay? There is enough money for every single person in this room. There is enough readers. We don't just be friends. When we're all friends, we all rise up together. I'm serious about it. Like, if we help each other out, and we're accountable to each other, we will all grow. Nobody will get hurt. Okay, quick review. Do everything 100%. Okay, if you're going to do it, do it. Be all in and do it. Find your why. Live, breathe, and eat your why. Do everything for your why. Make sure that is apparent to your readers. Find your schedule and stick to it. Schedule with your blog posts, your Facebook posts, Pinterest. Find your schedule, just stick to it. Be consistent, because your readers will learn to be able to count on you. And be adaptable. Things change. There's algorithm updates. This is a crazy industry because we're all kind of making it up as we go along, right? So be adaptable, be able to adapt. I've said that word 50 times now. And then give more than you receive. To your readers, to your friends, to everything. I honestly believe, be a giver and it will come back to you. And then lastly, download the Marco Polo app. I love it, you guys. I love it. And then I wanted to end with this quote that is hanging on my wall. It's like our family motto, kind of. It's do today what others won't, so tomorrow you can do what others can't. Do that, okay? Any questions? I know this is not like a really like a question type speech. I don't even know what this is called. Speech, talk, meh. Whatever it is.
So you talked about like what if you find the next Facebook thing, it's gold, right? I think we all kind of think of like groups are the next Facebook thing. Like they just announced how important groups are going to be. We see different layout on our Facebook apps.
Yep.
A lot of groups that I've found or that I'm in are like no self-promo. So how are you finding those those groups?
So the groups that I'm in, I always recommend reading the description, following the rules, and they're fine with bloggers. So there are groups out there that are fine with bloggers. What's your niche?
Home decor.
Home decor. Okay, so I would just look, honestly. Whoa, something just fell from the sky. I would just look and read the rules, and if there's not one for you, start one.
Okay.
Start a group.
Cool. You just search?
I just search.
Keywords?
Yep. I would search home decor ideas, easy home decor ideas, and there's going to be groups there. And just read through the descriptions, and you can message like the admins or whatever and say, define self-promotion, basically. Like, I don't have a product that I'm trying to sell people. I'm trying to provide a service for them. I'm fixing their problem.
Would you say,
you know what I mean?
You said you were able to qualify for Mediavine in 1 month, which is remarkable because I know so many people, it takes a really long time. Is it strictly because of Facebook groups that you were able to do that?
Facebook groups and Pinterest too.
Okay.
I active on Pinterest, and I did get some Pinterest traffic, but it was mainly Facebook groups.
That's awesome.
For those recipes,
okay. Yeah. Let's Marco Polo.
Thanks. Anybody else? Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me talk to you.